All right. This is Troy J Robertson back with FabFitFun for episode 10, Real Housewives of Beverly Hills recap, which will be indelible in the hippocampus. As we have discussed and talked about a lot of great things on last night's episode, we've got Erika Jayne preparing for the Pretty Mess tour. We have Lois, Lisa Rinna's mother, in town. Kyle's throwing Camille a bridal shower. Dorit and Denise are hanging out in Malibu. And Lisa Vanderpump remodeling her kitchen, finally after Ken's approval. As always, make sure to like, share, and subscribe to FabFitFun's YouTube channel for tons more content with me and other great content on the YouTube channel. Let's get into it, shall we? This week's It's a Look is going to Kyle Richards for that stunning side off the shoulder black dress, studded gold dress or something like that. She had that slicked back high pony. Kyle looked absolutely stunning walking into dinner with all of the ladies, and then Rinna's mom Lois being in town. It was everything. It was clean, it was sleek. She had this nude pink lip on. Kudos, Kyle Richards, it's a look. Quote of the night. Erika Jayne preparing for the Pretty Mess tour and explaining her road to success as Erika Jayne after being Erika Girardi. Just follow your dreams. Sip champagne and have a kick-ass checkbook. That is savage. Choice titillating topics. As the ladies are having dinner at the end of the episode for Rinna's mom Lois being in town, they're all going around and ordering, and as the server gets to Denise orders her food, and then she's like, listen, I need a drink. And Rinna and the server at the same time go, they only have beer and wine. Denise says, they only have beer and wine. No tequila? Okay, I'll pass. Like, it's tequila or die for Denise Richards. Listen, we all have our drink of choice. Some people can drink anything. I like beer, wine, spirits, all the above. I mean, she likes her tequila, she loves it, and good for her. Topic number 2. Kathy and Kim Richards being at the same establishment in Los Angeles that Rinna is hosting this dinner upstairs in a private room is literally Bravo, reality television gods shining this beautiful light down upon us. We all remember Rinna and Kim's past experiences a couple of seasons ago. They did not end things on good terms. And although Kyle and her sisters are on good terms now, this just couldn't have been a more perfect exchange. So the ladies are finishing up dinner, they're walking downstairs, and Rinna just bypasses Kim Richards. Like, she was trying to sell her hand cream in Macy's. Like, it was literally incredible. It couldn't have been a more perfect exchange. So awkward, and what are the odds? At dinner, the ladies briefly discuss Puppygate, Dorit doggy drama, and then the relationship with all the ladies in LVP post the blow up in LVP's kitchen with Kyle. To which Rinna says to her mom, Lois, what do you think about all this? To which Lois says, I think it's all Listen, Lois, you and me both. I think that me and some of the other viewers, most of the other viewers would also agree. This is Let's get into the recap of this week. We've got Kyle throwing Camille what seemed to be a very impromptu bridal shower. Now, it was stunning, absolutely stunning, but this just seemed very, like it kind of came out of left field. We had no discussion about it during filming. We weren't shown anything about it if it was discussed during filming, and I just think it might have been something that was orchestrated, not by Kyle or any of the ladies, but maybe it was like a suggestion, like, hey, maybe, let's do this for Camille. I'm not saying it was disingenuous. I think that it was a bridal shower and it was appropriate. She's gonna be a bride. But I just think it seemed very much like, let's throw this and let's see if LVP can show up. This is the start of her really kind of disconnecting from the cast, as we see, because as you watch the show, we notice that she does not show up to the bridal shower. But you know who did show up? The morally corrupt Faye Resnick in a stunning past the knee tight white dress. Faye looked absolutely stunning, and I just think it's very full circle to think about like Faye and Camille's relationship in the first season of Beverly Hills all the way down to now season 9. Like, she's no longer the morally corrupt Faye Resnick. You're such a liar, Camille. It's probably one of my favorite quotes, and I'm so glad that this got brought up as Kyle did what seemed to be a wedding toast between her and Camille, but really just it started off as this great toast, and then that flashback to season 1. Their relationship has come so far. I love Camille's exchange with all of the ladies. I think it's very organic, and it was just a beautiful shower. As we know, though, Lisa Vanderpump did not show up, and when Camille brought this up to Kyle, Kyle was like, listen, maybe you just need to shoot her a text and say, hey, you were missed. Some shade from Lisa Rinna at the bridal shower. Dorit says to the ladies, hey, I saw Kathy Hilton the other night, which we all know is Kyle's sister. And Kyle says, yes, we had dinner the other night. Camera shoots to Rinna and she says something so savage. She goes, well, the show got canceled, because we all know about the catalyst between Kyle starting to produce the show American Woman and it being stories based on her and her sister's lives. There was a big falling out, and now that the show didn't get picked up, Rinna's making a joke like, oh yeah, the show got canceled, you guys are fine now. I thought that was hilarious. We get to the dinner with Rinna's mom, and all of the ladies are there except Erika Jayne, who is about to be on tour, so she's practicing for her tour. And then we also have Lisa Vanderpump, who is not in attendance for this. And so all the ladies are kind of like hanging out and they're talking, and Kyle asks Camille, hey, did you ever text LVP after your bridal shower? And Camille says, yes, I did. I said, hey, you were missed. This is where it gets a little dicey, because Lisa Vanderpump is then claiming in text message to Camille, would have loved to be there, didn't get invited, hope it was a great day, something like that. She's claiming she wasn't invited. Kyle, fuming. She's like, I don't like liars. How dare she? I invited her. Why would she not even say that? She brings up receipts showing either a text message or probably like an e-card or an evite saying like this was delivered, she was invited. She didn't see it or didn't open it. That's not on me, but I did invite her to it. I don't know. I think that Kyle, when she goes to look at Camille's phone and Camille kind of lets Lisa Vanderpump get away with it. There's a little bit of disappointment from her, and then also Rinna is saying that is so passive aggressive. It's passive aggressive for you to say, hey, you were missed today, instead of saying, you didn't show up, you were invited, what's the tea? What's going on? Why weren't you there? I see both sides of it. Lisa Vanderpump is probably very uncomfortable. She does feel like all of the ladies are saying this. She's going through a very vulnerable time. And on the other end, Lisa Rinna is saying listen, this is a big moment. This is a bridal shower. You didn't show up and you were invited. It's during filming. We were all there. Erika Jayne is on tour. What were you doing? And Kyle is saying I did invite you. Why would you claim that I didn't? I don't know. So what do you guys all think? Let's take it to the polls. Let's get down in the comments. Do you think that Kyle did in fact invite Lisa Vanderpump to the bridal shower? Or do you think Lisa Vanderpump is telling the truth when she's saying, hey, I wasn't invited to this? The ladies then start to talk about something that's usually not talked about on The Real Housewives. The ladies start to have a discussion about Brett Kavanaugh and the Dr. Ford allegations towards him during his Senate Judiciary hearings, and Dr. Ford coming forward and alleging that 30, 40 plus years ago when they were really young, he sexually abused her. And so they started talking about that, and we all followed this in September, and as someone who follows politics and studied it and appreciates it and loves it, I like that this was talked about. And it gets a little bit heated between Camille and Rinna, and I can see both sides of it. I see Rinna's side saying, listen, we have to listen to her. She's coming forward and saying this. It takes a lot of courage to do that, and there's no gain in this for her. And then we've got Camille on the other side saying, yes, I do want to support women, but I have been accused of something in the past that was untrue. So I know what it's like to be on the other end of a smear campaign, and it's not fun. I would have respected her a little bit more in this situation if she would have just said, listen, I'm having a very difficult time believing her, and it's because of X, Y, and Z. But when she compared it to herself and the terrible divorce she went through and the allegations she had her first couple of seasons on the show, it just, while relatable, isn't the same. The other thing that was really topical that I think brought up a really good point was just some people's misconception of what you go through and what different people go through when they are abused. And Camille is saying, listen, it's very difficult for me to believe because she's held on to this for 30 years. If this would have happened to you, she's like, this woman would have told her best friend, she would have told her parents. And then you've got a lot of the other ladies saying, listen, And there's a lot of data saying that most people who are abused don't actually come out and say anything about it until decades, years later, because they feel like they're going to be judged for it or they did something wrong. And so Camille made a good point. She said, listen, when this happened to me, and this is very big of Camille to talk about, when this happened to me, I came out and told people. And that is brave of Camille, but unfortunately, that's not what everyone is comfortable doing. Camille gets really upset. She leaves, she doesn't want to be there anymore, and the girls rally around her in the end, and Rinna is there for her. Rinna has a heart at the end of the day, so she really rode her, and she got into her, and she swore and stuff like that, but Rinna's a good person, and she consoled her, so I respect her for that. I really liked this scene. I thought this was a really good girls' dinner scene. The end of the episode I also love because I love Lois. Rinna's mom is great, and her opening up about her abuse way before Rinna was even born was super brave. She talks about how she was taken down a deserted road, she was attacked with a hammer by a man, saved by a military policeman. Like, this was very brave for her to talk about. She is not a housewife, and for her to be that comfortable talking about that, and you know, Lisa Rinna being there for her mom in this, like, that just made Lois an even badass person in addition to the show, and housewife mom. That was a wild end to the episode. I was not prepared for that. All right, that's it for this week. Let's do this week's Rose and Thorn. This week's Rose is Erika Jayne's backup dancers. That's it. Enough said. This week's Thorn is one of Erika's backup dancers kneeing her in the skull and rocking her world. So, you know, there's no business like show business. She said it best. Listen, in a live show, the show must go on. You gotta get through it. They are the Rose and they are the Thorn because they were in big baggy black sweatpants, but it was still looking good from over here. Oh, Kurt. But that is it for this week. Thank you so much for tuning in every single week. I will see you all back here, not next week. I think that we're on a skip week next week. We just hit the halfway point of the season and it has been a great season so far. So please keep watching, sharing, commenting, participating. I love it. And stay tuned. Over and out. See you all next time. This is Troy J Robertson.